the magic, the music, the holiday episode for Eternal Durdles?
Next on Eternal Durdles.
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to all of our Patreon supporters out there. Thank you to the Durdle Maniacs. If you want to be a Durdle Maniac, go to patreon.com/eternaldurdles and help support the channel. It keeps things going. It keeps things updated. Thanks so much for watching. On with the show. Hello and welcome to Eternal Durdles. I'm your host, Zach Clark, and with me as always, Phil Blackman. Phil, how's it going, man?
Zach, I honestly don't remember what we did last year, but it seems to be a holiday tradition. MTG Remy, welcome back to the cast.
Oh yeah.
Pleasure to be here. Yeah, it is officially a tradition now. I feel like
I feel like if you do it 3 years in a row,
yes.
it becomes a Christmas tradition.
Perfect. Yes. Well, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is great. You've been busy, obviously, all year long.
You've been busy.
making toys and stuff. Your channel's been working. Our channel's been working as well. And I like to just take this moment to jump out and appreciate some of our friend creators that we hang out with on sort of the regular. Like Remy and I are constantly texting back and forth about show stuff. And he's one of the people who's really helped us sort of in the background grow the channel. So I wanted to give you a shout out for that, and two,
well, I'm a fan of the show, so it's always fun to be on and talk Magic, and especially Eternal. I look at from afar because I feel like I'm old school. I started playing in 1994 and then fell out of it like so many people did, but I like at the same time I don't have a legacy deck. We were texting about this before. We were talking about the Chicago and any events that you guys might be playing in Chicago. I had a legacy deck at one point, and it was terrible. But I took it apart because, as so often happens with Legacy, like some of the cards got to be ridiculously expensive. I was like, oh,
Remy, that's my whole. I've been playing Legacy nonstop, and that's my whole experience from the jump.
Yeah,
I have a deck. It's terrible. I take it apart.
Yeah, are you playing Miracles?
Yeah, some of the. Can you? I'm sorry if this is going to just throw the show for a loop here, but now that we're talking about Legacy, can you show up with a pile? And because Modern, I feel like you can just show up with a pile and you can have fun. You can compete. You won't necessarily do spectacularly well. Is that the case with Legacy or no?
Phil, I'm going to let you have this one.
I would say you could show up with a pile if the pile has an I win button in it, because not every deck is set to beat I win buttons randomly, and that actually happens in challenges sometimes on Moto. So I want to say it was like last month, maybe it was a little bit more recent than that, but there was a Thassa's Oracle. What's the blue enchantment? The 4-mana blue enchantment where you can exile your library.
That would be Thought Lash.
So it was a mono blue Thassa's Oracle Thought Lash deck, and Thought Lash, it's one of the old cards that doesn't make any sense, and it just has 0 activated ability. Exile the top card of your library, prevent the next damage that would be dealt to you. So you just put that into play, exile your library, cast Thassa's Oracle, and win the game. And by any other standard in Legacy, that's a pile. But the fact that it has an I win button that sort of just hoses a bunch of stuff incidentally, it can get by. Whereas I feel like in Modern, it's kind of just like, I mean, my recent experience in Modern is just like you sort of play stuff, and that stuff gets you more stuff, and then you use that stuff to have more stuff than your opponent. And then if you have more stuff, then you're like, oh, look at this stuff that I have. And then your opponent's like, you got more stuff than I got stuff. I guess you win. Right? Am I off there? Maybe I'm a little off.
Well, I haven't played in a while, but that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you just put Amulet and then cast a Titan on turn 1.5 or whatever you do these days.
Titan does get you stuff, though, 1.5, right?
Titan does get you a lot of stuff. That is true. It begets a lot of stuff.
That's why they won't let you play it in EDH. They're like, too much stuff. The board say it's already complicated enough. We've got 4 people playing. You can't have more lands.
Remy, you may not have a Legacy deck yet, but considering that you started in 94, something that you can, a format that you can just show up with a pile and do well in is Pre-Modern, my guy.
Pre-Modern is just everything before Modern?
Yeah, it's 4th edition to Scourge.
So there's no power. There's none of like the degenerate stuff that happens in Vintage, except for Oath of Druids, but the most powerful thing you can get in with an Oath of Druids is a 4/4 that gains you life.
Yeah, see, that's manageable. I feel like that's manageable. One other thing I want to try is old school. Like
I love old school.
Yeah, because I feel like I am close to a deck for. I don't have the dual lands anymore because I sold them at the peak, $40. But man, every story, I can't remember what I was looking up the other day. Every card I've ever sold was like way too early, and it's like depressing.
Same.
Actually, this one I might still have. Do you remember a card called Raging River?
Yes,
of course.
It's like $200 some now.
Raging River is? No.
I think Raging River is.
I believe it.
Or maybe I'm thinking of False Orders. It's one of the two.
I feel like Raging River wasn't that a sideboard card for Show and Tell?
When you can only attack me on this side.
Oh no, I'm thinking of a different card. I'm thinking of Rushing River. That's what I'm thinking of.
No, Rushing River is a bounce spell from Plane Shift.
Yeah.
Plane something.
So Remy, you're probably right then. I'm thinking of a totally different card that was a 3-mana unsummon.
Okay.
No, Raging River has you attack, and then you put your attackers onto one side of the river or the other side of the river.
Yeah, it was some like weird mechanic like that.
Space Barrelin was the card.
Space Barrelin. Space Balerin, bro. That was Space Barrelin. Remy, do you have anybody in your circle of Magic players that voluntarily or involuntarily just pronounces every single card name incorrectly?
It might be me, honestly, because every now and then I'll start to read a card. I'm like, oh, wait, the R is before the L. Like, what have I been doing this whole time?
Look, you can't stop me. I've been saying Teferi for 25 years. I'm not about to change now.
Speaking of the cards that you just mentioned, Remy, on what are all these cards do? I want to give a shout out to a friend of the pod, Anurag Das. I was watching his stream the other day. He was playing Vintage Cube. He was drafting, and the best part of his draft was he would come across cards from new Commander products that he had never seen before, but have a whole novel in the text box. And he would like hover over it momentarily. He would see the text box. He'd go, I don't know what this does, but then he wouldn't even attempt to read it. Because he's like, I only have 15 seconds for this pick. There's no way I'll be able to do that in time. And that was a delight. That was so much fun to watch him not analyze the full draft.
So it's basically how I draft whenever I'm drafting someone's cube. I'm like, I don't know what this does. Like, I'll pick it because it's got a lot of words.
It's tough because especially if you have like a casual draft, like sometimes I'll get some friends that I grew up with together and we played Magic back in the day, but they don't necessarily play, and all these mechanics are new, all the cards are new, so we're passing around packs, but the draft itself takes like 2 hours because everybody's just like, oh, what is this and what is this, and then like asking questions like, how does exploit work, how does this work, how does it's and then we like play one game and we're like, we gotta go to bed, this is late. So like there's like two ends of the spectrum where you can go super fast and just not know, but I guess it's just pick your poison.
The real strategy is to remind your friends when you're doing this that there are no stakes and you just want to get in games.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to sit there trying to figure out, like, it's like an EDH. I have friends that will sit there for like 20 minutes trying to figure out their turn. I'm like, we could be playing another game. Let's just assume you won. Let's go.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's funny, like the times, cause I've been playing more Commander recently, and I'll go, I'm like, oh wow, it's like 5 o'clock. Oh, I'll play a bunch of games, and the next thing I know, I've played 2 games, and it's like 8:30. I was like, what happened? But some games go very fast. It's kind of an interesting thing to learn about.
I like to throw
Commander.
like one I win button into every one of my EDH decks just so that I can be like, the game's over.
And I'm on the other side where I only put in answers to stop him from doing that.
Well,
we played one CDH game. My first ever game of CDH. He handed me Krark Sakashima, which is just like a deck where you copy your Krark a bunch of times, so you just have a bunch of Krarks, and then every spell you just flip a whole bunch of coins. and it just gets exponentially more and more coin flippy to like, you know, get more and more and more and more and more spells. There's literally a website called the Calculator to like figure out what the math is, because you can't figure it out. But it's not deterministic, because theoretically there's a world where you miss 16 coin flips. And so we played that deck, and the thing is that because you take so many coin flips, you take all the game actions, and then your opponents don't get to do anything. But it's CDH, so they can't be upset about it. And that was great for me, because I got to do all the stuff, and my opponent would be like, I don't know, draw a card, pass a turn. I'll be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Before you do, I have 67 coins to flip. We're going to do them all individually.
I love that.
Yeah, the Calculator, Calculator? Yeah, let's go with Calculator. It sounds like something right out of a MTG Remy video, actually.
Calculator. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn that over in my head here.
Sounds like a judge question. You know?
Remy, if we get to play, if we do go to MTG Con Chicago, which is you're still up on the air on that, I'm still up on the air on that. Zach, I think you're confirmed.
I'm going. They
Jack
bought
is
my
confirmed.
ticket. Shout out to Moxfield for buying my ticket already.
Eternal Dirtles is proud to be sponsored by Moxfield. Moxfield is the best Magic the Gathering deck building website on the internet. You can create, share, and find decks from Commander to Legacy, and even fan-supported formats like Pre-Modern and Old School. You can see all of our decks on our Moxfield. Follow the links below to stay tuned.
If we do all end up in the same place at the same time, then I can finally challenge you with my Grand Calcutron deck.
Yes, I've heard about it for so long now. I think for 2 years now.
2 years in running.
2 years, and I have yet to play a game. With it, so we'll see how it goes. But it's waiting. The debut of the Grand Calcutron EDH deck is when we all sit down at a table. With some random stranger who doesn't know.
That's true. We got 3/4, and some random guy.
It could be you, viewer. It could be you.
He doesn't know
Comment below if you would like to see us.
Don't know what they're getting into. I'm hoping to go. I think it would be a lot of fun to go. I have a pass. At least I believe a pass is on the way. But this has happened in the past, and I don't end up going. Although I saw Zach in Philly at the Magic Con.
Yeah, that was awesome. We got to meet each other in person. And that was. You actually played I had to run off because I started getting a giant headache from being at the con the entire time. But you got to play with the Moxfield guys, actually.
Yeah. Oh, that was a lot of fun. They're great guys. My commander decks, I love my commander decks. They are not good. They're objectively not good. They're subjectively not good. But it was such a fun event. They had like a room. It was just like a commander room.
Yeah.
It was really impressive how well it was run.
They've upgraded that situation now where before it was like everyone was in that room because you had to pay to be in the command zone. Now they've just gotten rid of the pay to be in the command zone, and basically the entire con is the command zone.
Okay, so was the command zone just the same thing then?
Yeah, basically everyone just commandeered another room and started playing in there because they're like, I'm not paying to I just paid to get into this con. Why should I pay $100 to be in this other area? You know,
the problem with a command zone is it's just tables. That's it. And so when they were like, oh, well, we could just go over to the tables over there, and then they were like, well, this product doesn't seem to be working out. We should probably switch it up. It seems our competition is the other room.
Yeah, with the same floor plan.
With the same thing, yeah.
No, that was a lot of fun. That's probably what I intend on doing. Although you guys said you're going to play in the Legacy event.
Yeah, so here's the thing: is I'm actually trying to petition them to change the Legacy event because it's taking place at noon on Friday, which is ridiculous. Like the first day of the con, they're having it right as the con opens for the Legacy event, and I'm like, do you guys not understand? Legacy players are parents, are professionals, like professional people, not professional Magic players. And they don't have like the PTO to like take off on a Friday to like show up like at the beginning of the con to play an event that that for them. So I was like, guys, we need to change this to Saturday, like at noon. because no one's going to show up. It's going to like no one's going to play in a Legacy event at noon where they have to travel. You know, you get in. Let's assume you do get in on to Chicago in the morning. You're just so wrapped around just like okay, let me get to my hotel, do other things. Like no one's ready at noon the first day of a con to like sit down and play 7 hours of Legacy. That's insane.
To jump on that though, if I go, I will be there, and if I'm the only person in the event on Friday, that's still I won.
Force of
that's
Phil
still,
takes
that's
it down.
No, that's technically
it's still a win. I'm going to take the wins. You got to take them where you can get them, right?
Yep.
Free wins, even if it's the whole tournament.
Force of Phil.
history won't
put it up on the
remember
scoreboard.
the travel nuances of the convention, and they will just remember Phil trophy.
Yes. So
They call it a grind. It's a grind. And if nobody's willing to grind as hard as I am on Friday at noon.
Yeah.
Now that's an event that the con worked with Phil and I to produce, and as is classic WotC, right up to the to the red zone, we were all on point, and then they were like, and we're gonna have it on Friday at noon, and didn't tell us that they were gonna do the event or that they were taking they kind of took our name off of it because it's supposed to be the Eternal Girdles Cup. You know,
I hold on to hope. It's the first time they're putting a legacy like this event at a con. When it gets big and it's official and it's called DurtleCon, that's Remy. That's when we're getting you a legacy deck.
Yep.
And you're gonna play.
Well, I didn't know that. I'm just gonna call it. I'm just gonna call it the. What were you calling it? Dirtle. Oh, you're calling it DurtleCon, the future event.
The future event.
Okay.
Yeah.
The tournament, Eternal Dirtle Cup.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the Eternal Dirtles Cup, and then we had this other event called the DurtleCon Battlemania. Yeah. and this event, this was a genius idea Phil put together, where it was you start out the day with 3 physical tokens, and you can just it's Magic Con. It's very casual. You know, you just walk around, talk to people all day. You play games of Commander. So I wanted to keep that atmosphere going. So this goes on through the entire first 2 days of the con, where you just walk up to people and you say, hey, do you want to battle? And you sign in and you say, hey, I'm playing this person. And then if you win, you get one of their pins. If you beat them, you give them one of the other way around. And so the idea was once you get to 8 pins, you trade them in, and then you play in the top 8 event. You play into the winner circle tournament. That's like a single limb on Sunday on Sunday. So the idea.
Totally. Yeah.
To introduce something like this, you need to have that flexibility of schedule. So this was to me, this was a genius idea that Phil put together.
I really like
the Battle City. Yeah, we called it Battle City, and the idea was just that if you achieved, you essentially ante your tokens every match, and if you get to the requisite number of tokens essentially to enter the playoffs, then you get to do that. But otherwise, you just get to play in the event for as long as you want to, wherever you want to, because you could challenge anybody who is also in the event wherever they are.
It could be at the hotel lobby. Yeah,
it could be wherever you want. It's you play it anywhere, and then even if you don't get to the requisite, let's say you win 2 in a row and then you lose 1 and then you win another one and then you lose 1, and you never actually get to the requisite 8 whatever tokens is necessary, then your tournament never ends. You can just play in that for as long as you want, and you're not out until you lose all of your shit. And that was it. And then it was, flexible, and then people could do whatever. Remy, putting you on the spot, if you could design your own Magic tournament, what would it look like?
Oh my gosh. Magic tournament. All right. There would be a prize that would be old school related. It would be, wait, it's a dream. Why don't I go high? Okay, it is the Power 9. You get the Power 9. The top 8 people get the 8 of the Power 9. And then the winner gets the Black Lotus. Okay, the winner gets the Black Lotus. 8. Okay, everybody else gets 1 1/8 of a. One of them we're gonna cut into 8s. I mean, that's just the way it is. Of the remaining 7 people, they're gonna get a 1.125 of the Power 9.
Yep. I just want to throw out there, the miscut community is big these days.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So somebody else it is there's a synergy. There's by cutting this card into eighths, the remaining pieces will be more than 0.125 of a card. Let's say it's the black Mox. That's probably the one Mox Jet. That's probably the least. Is that the least used one?
The Pearl is the least used one.
Okay, yeah, we're cutting up the Pearl. We're cutting up the Pearl. So it would be something like that. It would be catered. It would be.
I love this
catered.
already.
You have like a buffet thing with the tray, like continental breakfast style. It's breakfast. It's breakfast. It doesn't take place in the morning. It might. Maybe it starts in the morning, but the breakfast remains. It's always going to be breakfast.
We call that single dad dinner.
Single dad dinner. Waffles. You make the waffles. It's the thing. You turn it. You know the thing. You spray the thing as well. If you have an issue with it, there's someone there. The napkins are not cloth. They're paper. It's brightly lit. And the format.
This is a great tournament structure so far.
And the format is, okay. It's either standard or old school. No, it's an old school tournament. It's an old school tournament. Yes, it's an old school tournament.
It's old school with any particular additions to it.
Ooh, that's a great question. Yeah, okay, it's old school, but I don't know what sets are in old school.
I'm going to play
Empires.
I'm playing in this tournament already, and I'm definitely going to Scheherazade people.
Yes. We rented that's another thing about this room. We've rented it for a long time, so you can play a full play set, however you pronounce the card.
No time.
Have as many side games as you want, and maybe the 1.125 of the Power 9 will be yours. Wow, I want to play in this event now.
Yeah, this event seems really good. You've inspired me also that I want there to be a tournament. You know how everybody's like, oh, sad, I got 9th on breakers. I guess I suck. Like, this is the worst. I have the same record as the top 8, but I'm in 9th, and that's terrible. And you were like, Power 9, but there's only 8 slots. I want to have a tournament where the whole goal is to get 9th. And if you get 9th, you're the winner. You win. So you're like, I need to have enough. I need to win enough to get on. But when you're like, I got to concede a game because my breakers are a little bit better than this other guy's, and I got to,
any math idiot can get first place.
That would be awesome.
We'll call it the on the bubble tournament.
That's what I used to tell my teachers in school. Any idiot can get straight A's, but I'm skirting by on D pluses. You know how hard that is? I got a 3-point margin of error.
You can't try too hard. There'll be like a match where both people need to lose, and they're trying their hardest. Oh wow!
Judge, can I attack myself?
We have
would
never
love to watch that.
We've never seen a game where two people competitively are trying to have the other person win at all costs.
So we are instilling mana burn in this format, right?
Yeah,
then it comes too easy. Mana burn just makes it too easy, though.
Yeah. What about DQ behavior? Like if you're intentionally cheating to lose, would that be?
Well,
you got to assume that there's tournament integrity. So
I also
cheating,
love that you're not allowed. You should not be allowed to scoop.
Yeah. Can you scoop? Can you scoop in the tournament?
You just are not allowed.
Once we remove the objective control of being able to concede at any time. I don't know. How is that enforced?
Okay, so here's the question. Can you put conceding on the stack? Because what if we both need to concede? And I'm like, all right, I win the coin flip. I quit.
In response.
It's a 0 mana action. No, I quit. Okay, I'm going to
I think that's
quitting on the stack as well.
If you put concessions on the stack and they can be responded to, I think that might solve the problem, because then in response you could kill yourself.
Zach, do you have a dream tournament, or was that it? As
yeah, man, I think my dream tournament would take place in Harry's mom's basement in the year 1997, right? It would be Tempest block constructed, because when block tournaments started happening, we thought that was going to be like a format. So we made all these block decks, and I broke the block deck format by making a. This is before people realized Curse Scroll was good. So I played Phil. What is it? Thran Turbine. Thran Turbine wasn't in that set yet.
Thran Turbine, you mean Sol Ring?
No. You couldn't play Sol
That's
Ring.
what that card
is.
is.
Yeah, it wasn't in that set. So
no,
I
but
played.
Thran Turbine produces 2 mana and Sol Ring. Okay.
Yeah. No, but I played Static Orb, and there was a card called Thumbscrews. And so Static Orb was like, basically like Winter Orb. And it would stop people from playing stuff. And then Thumbscrews would deal 1 damage if they had 4 or more cards in their hand. So I won like through just like completely locking down my opponents. It was the most miserable format possible for that era of my friends playing.
Wow. Thumbscrews is so
aptly
Remy,
named.
Quick quiz.
Yeah.
Is Thumbscrews the card? Is it 2 words or 1 word?
Oh, I would, before you ask me the question, just the information in my brain would say 2 words, but now I'm leaning 1 word.
I think it's 1 word.
Well, the question is directed at Remy, and you must answer in the form of a question.
All right, I'm gonna go with 1 word.
1 word. That is correct.
Okay.
It is correct. Yes. It is a 2-mana artifact. It is a single word, Thumbscrews. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or more cards in hand, Thumbscrews deals 1 damage to target opponent, and it's been errataed to say or Planeswalker.
Oh, look at that.
That's so interesting errata.
Opponent or Planeswalker.
Yeah. So that was the whole idea. Is like just stop your opponents from being able to do stuff. I know that like I had some other stuff in there that like also got there, but like mostly it was just like that. It was like that, and like maybe like Puppet Master or Puppet Guy or whatever that like untapped a creature. But
continuing on Thumb's show, I'm gonna jump in real quick before you tell us what else was in this deck of yours, Zach. Continuing on this Thumbscrews the game show, the flavor text is, "We will start small, I think." I pose the question to either of you. Feel free to buzz in. Which Magic character is quoted in that flavor text? We will start small, I think, on Thumbscrews the card.
I know nothing about.
I'm gonna give you your options, your 4 options.
Okay.
Urtai. Volrath. That's it. Choose those 2.
I was going to say Grevenil Vex, so I'm going to go with Volrath now.
Okay. Remy?
I'm going to go with the other one for the sake of competition.
All right. The score is now tied, gentlemen. It is Volrath. We're tied 1-1 in this impromptu game show that may or may not continue throughout the episode.
I guess in retrospect, Grevenil Vex is not a torture guy. He's more of a throw you off a boat in the air kind of guy. He's not really a interrogation type of character.
All right, Remy, double or nothing.
I love it.
When Zach says the throw you off the boat kind of guy, that literally did happen in the Weatherlight story. What card is that displayed on? What's the story spotlight card where Grevenil Vex is throwing somebody off a boat?
Quadruple points if you can name the character he threw off the boat.
I'm gonna fail so badly. If you had asked me name a Weatherlight card, I would be in the tank. I would be just as far as in the tank.
We'll narrow it down for you. It is a black card, and it is also from Tempest.
It's also synonymous with this effect.
I don't know.
Zach, you want it?
Diabolic Edict.
Character?
He's thrown him off. Vadi Ildal.
Vadi Ildal.
I'm looking it up.
Doesn't Vadi Ildal sound like the Balenciaga of Magic the Gathering? So, Remy,
yes,
you got to tell us about your clothing line, because I know that when we go to these cons, we see Verdict sweaters everywhere.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Vadi Ildal, it might just be, we might just have found the next,
also
high-end fashion designer line.
Oh, the Spence Comics and Lutefisk sleeves. I love those sleeves.
Link below.
Link below. Those, unfortunately, they sold out. And
Oh,
the hoodies sold out too.
I put these are for my Dan deck.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, I have them on my commander, at least one of my commander decks. I love those. Yeah, there was a big tournament actually last weekend in Atlanta, like hack something.
Yeah, Dream Hack.
And Anna Wegener made the top 8 and was wearing the verdict hoodie. And somebody sent me the picture. I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to send her. I sent her the verdict sleeves and the playmats. I was like, that's so cool. It was
You're
so
now
cool to see.
sponsored.
It made my day. Yeah, that was really cool. No, I'm looking at the art here for Diabolic Edict, and yeah, I'm seeing exactly what you described.
Guy got chucked right off a boat.
Yeah. Oh, they've reprinted this a bunch.
Oh yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's now not very. There's definitely better versions of this card now. Because it was Liliana's Triumph was a version of this card that was better, and then they made a split second version, and now I think the go-to version is Shieldred's Edict, because you can basically say token or non-token, so it gets rid of Merit Lage, even if the opponent has a guy to sack.
Diabolic Edict had a good run, though, because all of those cards that you just referenced didn't come out until post-2018.
Yeah.
Because this card was a 2 in Grixis control in 2018. So,
oh, wow.
you know, when we want to do our little flashbacks, Remy, if we ever play, old flashback-style legacy events, Diabolic Edict can still be in there. We can just play this game show as a format. Only cards from Tempest that are a single word and are sort of intimidating.
Well, they made a. I'm looking. They made a. What are they called? These invocations. Remember the invocations?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Amonkhet invocations. It's like you could barely recognize it with the text. I thought when these were spoiled, like I would interact with them more in real life, and I don't think I've ever seen one on a table.
They were so maligned that I bought a foil playset of Dazes for like $40 a piece, and now they're like $200 or $300 a piece. I've already sold them, but like they people hated them at first, and then they skyrocketed in value over time.
I didn't realize that.
We hate it, but like then we need it because if we hate ourselves, then...
So
Remy, I want to ask, if you had one card that you could make an invocation, what would it be?
Oh, man. I'm not a huge invocation fan, but I would go for Asmarano Mardica Daistina Koldakar, because that's just a ridiculous enough name to begin with, but to see it in script and just like have people try to pronounce it based on the hieroglyphic version, I think would be worth it.
I think they need to make Asmora Mardica Daistina Koldakar more playable, like another version of it that's even more playable, so people have to say it more often. Because obviously the three of us, we've got it down, right?
Oh, we nailed it. I think, yeah. No, go ahead.
Yeah, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious version that you put up, I want to say 2 years ago? Last year? I don't know.
Yes.
Somewhat recently.
Thankfully, the syllables matched.
Yeah. I was like, this is 14 syllables. I was like, Phil, we got to get on this. I was like, never mind, Remy's got it. We're good. We don't have to do this one.
Do you think that was a consideration, though? Like, somebody had this name for the card, and they were like, okay, but we can't put her on something that's going to be like a format staple. It's like,
do you know, Remy, how old Asmora Mardica Daistina Koldakar is as a Magic character?
No. Is it more than...
Look on the card, Granite Gargoyle from Beta.
What?
OG, bro. Yeah, Asmora Mardica Daistina Koldakar was an OG character. That made me then when you brought that up, that it has the same number of syllables. It made me think: did Mary Poppins come out before? Did Mary Poppins come out before Beta? It did, right?
Yes, way before, like in the 60s.
Way before Beta, right? It was in like the 60s, yeah.
Dick Van Dyke looked
before
young
Beta.
Yeah.
It's a great question because I'm sure there are some Magic Zoomers on here that aren't sure. You know?
Dude, that's the history like landmark now. It's just like it's not like was it before we were born? Was it after
whether or not it came out before Mary Poppins?
It's before or after Beta.
Okay.
Wow.
I like before or after Mary Poppins as a marker too.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that and it's talking about cooking in the thing. We had a short. I'll pop the short up somewhere. We had a short that I explained that on, which was it got like a lot of hits because people were like, "What? Are you serious? Like I doctored the card or something?"
That and also I was told after we did we had a bunch of things. We did a bunch of skits on the fact that as Mortimer because it's going to call the cards like ridiculous and whatever. And afterwards, the most feedback that I got on any of that, Phil, it's actually pronounced as Moro no Marta Kadaistina cool Dakar. Okay.
That's right up there.
And then I leapt off the roof of my building after
that. That's one of my all-time favorite jokes is like one day the sky opens up and he just goes, "It's pronounced Jod," and then closes the clouds back up.
I had no idea. I must have like 100 copies of that card from back in the day, but that just shows how obtuse I am to
the flavor text.
Yeah, the flavor text, the art, like I don't know, like for whatever reason, like every now and then I'll be staring at a card. I'm like, wait, this is like an animal? Like I just like see like the colors. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know that this episode was just going to be like exposing you for not knowing the flavor text of thumb screws.
How dare you?
Or that as Mortimer Destina Cold Cards, was pre-beta.
Guys, I did by the way remember the other killer card in that deck, and then we can move on from this deck. It was Elamaratis. What is his name?
Eladamri?
Eladamri's. Yeah. See, that's another. I've been saying this for over 25 years. Wrong. Eladamri's Vineyard, because you took mana burn back in the day. So if your opponent wasn't playing green, they couldn't use the mana, and they couldn't untap their lands from Static Orb, and they were taking thumbscrew damage. This was a hellscape of a deck.
Eladamri was one of the when I first I've never actually played with an Eladamri card, and then I know that it saw some amount of play in Modern when the cycle of evoke creatures came out, the free cycle, right? Because you could just get it and then free pitch it. But when I first learned of the character Eladamri, and I know it's an elf or whatever, but I couldn't not hear Eladamri. And I always pictured Eladamri as like a loungy jazz singer, and I've never been able to unthink it. So now I just think of like this elf laying on a piano. Welcome Eladamri.
Soft lighting. That's great.
Yeah.
That needs to happen. That needs to happen.
the next unset Eladamri.
Yeah. Your next song, Remy, is just you as Eladamri dressed in an elf on a piano singing smooth jazz.
I know of a piano. It doesn't look like that looks like it could be laid on.
Just surrounded by foliage.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring this up because we've been joking over the years, and I think half seriously that we should do a collaboration. And obviously I think it's a wonderful idea. You once said on camera that you were down to do it, so that's great too. But I hit up my I was once in a band. I hit up my old band, and I was like, hey, if we do this, I was like, we got this guy Remy, who is basically the Weird Al of Magic the Gathering. If he's the Weird Al, we're like the MC Lars of Magic. Much smaller thing. They kind of know each other, but
Remy, MC Lars is definitely pre-beta.
So I was like, hey, would you guys want to do one where we do it with actual music, and then we'll figure out a song, we'll figure out the lyrics, everything, but have a actual band do the song.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun.
My old band was called Zach Clark and the Griswolds.
I need to watch that movie again. Actually, I saw that the Christmas Vacation is on Netflix, and I love that movie.
I own it on YouTube because they try and charge you every year this time around. Now, if it's on Netflix, you're good. But every now and again, there's a couple of seasonal things that I refuse to pay for because I've seen them a million times, but they decide to charge you on certain services around this time of year. So I'm like, no, I just own this. I'm not letting anyone make me pay for it again.
Yeah, I totally get that. I went ahead and yeah.
Oh, go on.
Oh no, I was gonna say I went ahead and I bought Elf. I was like, you know what? I could see my kids wanting to watch this frequently enough in the future that, and me too. I think it's a funny movie. But what were we gonna say, Zach?
I have a list here of my like Christmas viewing like musts.
Yes.
So I'll just go over them real quick, but after that I want to talk about Christmas songs. First off, I want to just give a shout out to all of the Christmas specials from every TV show ever, which you can find on like various YouTubes and stuff like that. Like there's a guy who just does all the Nick at Night ones. So recently I saw one from the show Newhart, which was like the Bob Newhart show in the 80s, called No Room at the Inn. And it's just, he's just like being a guy, an innkeeper who owns an inn. And this couple shows up during a blizzard, Mary and Joseph, and she's pregnant. And he's like, sorry, I have no room at the inn. And then he finds out they're pregnant. He's like, I think we can, as from innkeepers everywhere, I think we can give this one to you. You know, it's just like classic, like super dry Bob Newhart.
I love Bob Newhart. I love Bob Newhart. Yeah.
The Griswolds had a song called Bob Eat Your Newhart Out. That's how much I loved Bob Newhart. But so we got Christmas Vacation, Home Alone. Do you know about the He-Man She-Ra Christmas special?
I must have seen it when I was a kid because I loved He-Man, and when they put it on YouTube like some years ago, I was like, oh wow, that's my childhood. And I pull it up and I was like, I don't even understand what's happening. Like, how was I into this? A lot of things you're like, they hit you with the nostalgia, and it's like, oh, this is great, this is amazing, this is exactly how I remember it. And I was He-Man. I was like,
you're like, this is a 24-minute commercial buffered by other commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
We have this new villain. Here's what he does. You know, the Christmas special is no different, but it merges the He-Man and She-Ra universes. But it casts Skeletor as a good guy who saves Christmas, which is so awesome. It's like the funniest thing
I'll
ever.
look that up.
He begrudgingly saves Christmas, and he has some of the best lines. Like, there's a line where he's teaching two children from Earth. Spoiler alert, Eternia, where He-Man lives, is not Earth. So these kids get on Eternia somehow. And then Skeletor is walking around with them, and they're explaining Christmas to Skeletor without throwing any of the Christianity into it, which is they really just like purposefully gloss over like Jesus a lot. Like, you can see them like, it's a day when something great happens and angels showed up, and then they're like, and everyone's nice to each other. But there's this great line where they're trying to explain Christmas to Skeletor, and Skeletor's like, so what happens? And one kid's like, and well, everybody gets around and you exchange gifts. And Skeletor's like, and then they blow up. It's so good. They're like, no, that's not what happens at all. So that's awesome. That's a like, it's a must. If you're watching right now, it's on YouTube. So like, just find it. Stop watching this. Watch He-Man's Christmas special on YouTube. Ernest Saves Christmas, one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, I haven't seen that in probably since it originally aired.
Yeah, I think I saw it in the theater. Jim Varney, man, shout out to Jim Varney.
Yeah, those I haven't seen since I was a kid. I remember liking them actually when I was a kid.
It still holds up. That's one of those ones. It's like that and Scrooge to me are like Scrooged with Bill Murray like is just. Like, I get to the end and he does that speech where he's like, and you can make it happen tonight. You know, and I'm like, oh man, I'm starting to choke up right now.
Something's in my eye.
Yeah. No, I gotta go. I made the mistake when I got married of putting sunscreen on, and it wasn't very good sunscreen, and it started bleeding into my eyes while I was getting married, and everyone thought I was crying.
Oh no!
Really, I was just like, I can't see. It's
no, you just go with it. You know, I just like,
go with that.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta. What do you mean? That's a happy accident for you.
It's the longest con. It's the longest con that's been going on for my entire marriage. My wife's like, "You were crying." I'm like, "No, I literally like it hurt my eyes so bad."
It's okay to cry.
Everybody,
it's okay to cry.
People are listening now, and they're just like, "Oh, am I gonna start rubbing it right above their eyebrows right before they get married?" It's like, I'm gonna use X.
Or like, if you think your boss is gonna fire you that day, you know.
Just eye white. Just
Yeah. The Garfield Christmas special.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
That's a great one. Also available on like every streaming service.
Go back and watch some like. There's a lot of Garfield that if you unproducible today, unproducible.
Yeah, it's
like
very bad.
you hear some of the jokes in Garfield and like you don't laugh, you double take. You're like, they said what?
Yeah,
it is crazy.
The Garfield Christmas special has a lot of that.
Crazy.
Then there's Santa Claus is Coming to Town. That's one of the Rankin Bass specials. It's my favorite one because it's got the wizard, the winter wizard guy, but it's got that song "Put One Foot in Front of the Other." So that's a really good one.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, that's the one where like it's like the origin of Santa Claus. I think Fred Astaire is the mailman at the beginning of it. So if you ever watch it and you see it, you look at the guy, the the clay they use for Fred Astaire, and you're like, yeah, that's definitely Fred Astaire.
Gentlemen, speaking of Zach, because you've inspired me on this holiday tangents that we've gone on. I just sent you guys a list of every single. It's in the chat right here on thing. It's a list of every single MTG holiday promo that's been produced.
Oh,
so I have my favorite. I want to hear your guys' favorites, potentially on why it speaks to you the way it does.
Oh man!
Whilst you're looking at this, eclectic list, I'll tell you my favorite and why that is, and then I'll pass it around. We'll go around the horn.
Yeah, go for it.
So my favorite holiday card is called Top Deck the Halls. It's a 5-mana enchantment for 3 red white, and it says decorated cards in your hand have miracle for snow mana, a single snow mana. And it says in parentheses, decorated cards include premiums, promos, and cards with alternate frames or art. Now, I don't know if you know this, but my entire Miracles deck is altered, which means that my entire... it's all altered art. So my entire deck would be considered decorated, and they would all have miracle for snow mana. And that would mean that I can really capture the essence of the second part of the card, which says, at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 12 or more decorated permanents, you win the game. And we were talking about earlier in the cast, if you have an I win button in your deck, sometimes you can just take a pile to a legacy event and crush. And that's what Top Deck the Halls does in my imaginary future. Remy, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, do it.
All right, yeah. So easy. Fruitcake Elemental. Fruitcake Elemental.
Wow, easy pick.
I went through the whole list, and this is easily, because here's what I like about Fruitcake Elemental. First, from a flavor perspective,
it tastes terrible.
It should taste terrible, stale and thick. But you can imagine a fruitcake coming to life. You can. They have that reputation about.
Yeah, they
that.
definitely have the essence of life in them somewhere.
Yeah, and what I don't like about novelty cards, like the uncards, and a lot of them are just like, they're not really playable in close enough to a traditional sense. Fruitcake Elemental would be a card that you would play. Fruitcake Elemental is indestructible right off the bat. Okay, that's normal. At the end of your turn, Fruitcake Elemental deals 7 damage to you. There are cards that do that. And then you can pay 3 to give some other player gain control of Fruitcake Elemental. Now, the flavor of this is that the trope about the fruitcake is that they get handed from one person to the other person to the other person. It's great flavor. It is a playable card. And like a 7/7 for 3. Yeah, okay, maybe that's aggressively costed. I don't know. We'd have to play test it.
Yeah, we'd have to find out.
Here's what I'm hearing. Okay, so when we all meet at MagicCon Chicago, I'll bring Grand Calcutron, and you can bring Fruit Elemental as your commander.
$200. Oh my goodness, it's $200.
Never mind. I guess you're not. That's the most expensive fruitcake that's ever happened.
Proxy,
wow.
Yeah. Just as a heads up, so I didn't get all of the Christmas specials done, and we'll go back to that in a minute. But this is the plot of the Pee Wee Herman Christmas special: is that he keeps getting fruitcake from everybody. He wants all the toys in the world, but they keep giving him fruitcake.
Guys, Fruitcake Elemental is $200. Okay, we'll play a little Price is Right. What is your target prices on Top Deck the Halls? Don't look. No looking.
$50.
Okay, Remy.
So I'm weighted heavily to this fruitcake elemental thing. Top Deck the Halls.
You know what it does? It's clearly very powerful.
I'm going with 150.
I might have kind of made it a leading question. It's only $30.
Oh wow.
That's apparently a steal by Fruitcake Elemental standards.
All right,
Well-
so that's doable, man.
$30. Yeah, I feel like that's attainable. I would spend $30 on a Magic card.
I'm gonna spend it right now. This is thanks.
Hey,
Patreon
everybody, join our
supporters.
Patreon right now, and you can get Phil a Christmas gift.
My
right through
entire
Patreon.
deck would Miracle for Snow.
That's patreon.com/eternaldurdles. Thanks for all of your support. We're putting that money to good use and making the show better.
That's great.
So my card is actually this year's card. Seasonal sequels. It's X blue instant, and it says pitch the title of up to X holiday themed sequels to target spell. Copy that spell for each title pitched, except for the copy that has the same name. You may choose new targets for the copies. So, important to read the flavor text here. Now showing Sword of Hearth and Home Alone, 8 Crazy Knights Charge, Holiday Incinerate, and Phyrexian Gremlins. Now, do you guys have any? I have 5 lined up right now that I've been thinking about since this card was spoiled. Seasonal sequels, but can you think of any off the top of your head that are like Magic? You could take a Magic card and turn it into a movie.
I'll be honest, Zach. The only Christmas movie that came to mind when we started this whole conversation was Osmosis Jones, and that's not a Christmas movie. So.
So here are my
Chris Rock.
Here are my 5 while you guys get a chance to think. Urtai Saves Christmas. Ravnica Lampoon's Christmas Evocation. Santa Claus, A Year Without Adnaz. Adnaz is Coming to Town. And Scoozed. Scoozed is good, right? I mean, I spent a long time on thinking about those. It was a tweet I did like 3 weeks ago. I was like, oh man, they didn't send me this. I've got all the good ideas.
Yeah, Die Hard and Scales is also pretty good.
Die
which
Hard
is
and
just
Scales,
in the card art.
Yeah, they did the Santa Nas, How the Glunch Stole Christmas, A Christmas Brawl, Singles All the Way.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there are 1,000 other people that did that, but for me, Urtai Saves Christmas is like the best one.
I like that. I would watch that movie. Yeah,
since we just saw Ernest Saves Christmas, it's the same plot. He dresses up like an old woman, you know.
I feel like that's unexplored territory for Wizards too, because they
That's
have
the
the
perfect
set
crossover.
trailers and stuff like that. There should be Christmas specials.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man, how great would that be? A Christmas special for Magic?
Oh, I would be amazing. And like you'd miss a set trailer. Like you'd be like, oh yeah, I missed the set trailer. And you wouldn't think anything of it, but you would not miss the Christmas special.
Yeah. Also, can we just get a Ernest like an Ernest P. Whirl secret lair sometimes?
I feel like there's so many secret layer ideas that there's fandoms, there's niches, there's so I just bought a bunch of old border reprints for this commander deck. Actually, Zach, you inspired this commander deck because you were the one that showed me Garth One Eye.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, when you showed me that, I didn't know it was a card.
Right here.
Yeah, it was like a couple of years ago, and I was like, I need to make a deck with that card. And so then I just ended up making a lot of old border things in there. Yes. So I like the old border, but what would be cool is a secret layer with the old border, but not just any old border. Like reprint it so it looks like unlimited or looks like revised, because there's like different old. That's a different old border. Like they tidied it up.
Give us the white borders, please.
Yeah, like a little white bordered.
I want
pale,
some fingernail gunk on the sides.
Yeah, like just like a little. They do it with jeans. You know, jeans.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole market there for people who like drip jeans and magic cards.
Yeah,
guys, they are gonna do a promo where there's just there's actually rips in the card, but it's still sleeve playable, and you can just be like, yeah, there's holes in this card, but that's okay.
So I'll talk about two more really great Christmas specials you should be watching. Muppet Family Christmas, which is not to be confused with Muppet Christmas Carol, and that's the other one I want to talk about. But Muppet Family Christmas is the one where they all go to Fozzie the Bear's mom's house for Christmas. And then the Muppet Christmas Carol is obviously Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge.
I'm taking it all back. When you play Fruitcake Elemental as your commander, I'm gonna play Fozzie's mom when that comes out. We are gonna. So right now the score on this holiday themed game show is 1-1. We're gonna continue on The Price is Right. I have scouted it out. I have the most expensive holiday magic card and the least expensive holiday magic card. I can tell you, Fruitcake Elemental is neither. So we can already get that off. So now you have a range.
Okay.
I'll pull this
I'm going to.
there.
Yeah, you guys have it. You each get a guess. What is the most expensive holiday magic card promo?
I have my guess already.
I'm looking at the list. Is that cool?
You can look at the list for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
You definitely look at the list. Just don't look at any prices, of course.
I'm going with Mishra's Toy Workshop.
Mishra's Toy Workshop. Good guess. Good guess.
It's almost playable.
I am gonna go. Ooh, this is tough.
It's tough. It's a tough one.
Goblin Snowman from Ice Age.
That is the best holiday card. Yeah. Remy's deep in the tank on this one.
Evil Presence.
Evil Presence. So, gentlemen, after it was tied 1-1, it is now 2-1. Remy, well done. Evil Presence.
Evil Presence.
Evil Presence is the most expensive holiday promo.
$259.99.
So wait, how much is Mishra's Toy Factory though?
Mishra's Toy Factory is not even in the conversation. It's not even. It's $73.85. What are you, poor, Zach? What are you, broke? Don't you understand?
Price is Right rules, the highest without going over.
Not even, Zach. Not even close. Okay, I found the least expensive holiday MTG promo, and I can tell you it is not Mishra's Toy Workshop. So now you have a range, Zach. As being down by a point, you get first pick.
I'm going to go with Gifts Given.
Gifts Given is pack one, pick one for the cheapest card by Zach Clark. Remy.
Okay, I think I have a system here. So I'm going with Chaos Wrap.
Chaos Wrap. Chaos Wrap is a very good guess. It is not Chaos Wrap, but it is also not Gifts Ungiven.
Gifts Given. No,
So,
Gifts Ungiven is a different card.
Sorry. Gifts Given. Gifts Given. Yes. So we're going to give the point to Remy for Chaos Wrap because Chaos Wrap is worth $20.
Oh.
Gifts Given is worth $150 and is one of the most expensive cards on the list. So Zach, you are really far away. The actual cheapest card is Some Disassembly Required. It's a single mana black enchantment. It's black, sacrifice a creature, distribute the sacrificed creature's keywords among any number of target creatures until end of turn. If it's December, you gain 1 life for each of those keywords. It is the only card that is sub $10.
Oh, wow.
So,
$9.
$9.
Wow.
So pick up your Some Assembly Requireds today.
I just noticed that on this list as well, Bog Humbugs, which is hilarious. Its flavor text is a song. It is literally like notes, and I wonder what it is.
Jingle bells.
Yeah, it's got to be Jingle Bells, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, it really is.
I think
Wow,
you get
that
a bonus
is-
point for that.
Yeah,
man.
Remy gets a point for that one too. All right,
Yeah,
it's
well,
a runaway. This shows this. I thought it was going to be a close game, but it's absolutely runaway here.
Blowout.
So
Shut up,
my system was that since Fruitcake Elemental was a lot of money, and it was the card in 2006. Then I went with Evil Presence because it was 2008. So I was like, oh, maybe they didn't make a lot of them back then. But then, that's why I went Chaos Rap 2022. But no, it's got to be something about the collectability and the flavor.
Being able to play in any deck.
I'm gonna guess that like at the end of the day, probably the most actual expensive card that doesn't actually have a price on it is just the holiday treasure token.
Yeah.
With Liliana opening like a box of treasure and a bunch of gingerbread men popping out. Like that's probably
gingerbread zombies. Yeah.
Yeah. Just and it's like there's 150 of these holiday treasure tokens that exist.
Oh yeah, that's
and
gonna
the
be
magic
pricey.
back is like this gold looking. It's just like a sheet of gold.
Oh my god,
looks really nice.
It probably is actually just a sheet of gold, dude.
But there's just no price on it.
There's no price. It literally just like and lists every card that makes treasure tokens. No, that's Skyfall. It's like, god damn it, it's too many.
I'm sorry, I'm just basking in how good of a card Fruitcake Elemental is. Like it's like it is.
Yeah.
It is playable. It is playable. Like a lot of the holiday cards, they're like when X enters the battlefield, you go caroling. Like it's like what?
Do something zany.
Yeah, I'm playing like Magic here. At least this one is it's a Magic card. It's like you could play it. It's more playable than like an uncard.
Functions in the rules.
There was a season when Unglued first came out. They had this thing called Arena, not like the digital client because that was this was in like 1996, where you went to a local store and you played against your friends for DCI points. In like a non-tournament thing, you just had to like make sure you didn't play the same person twice. And one season, they made us buy like Unglued. You had to play with Unglued cards. So I had a Wait Weenie deck that had Knight of the Hokey Pokey. And I got up and did the Hokey Pokey a few times to keep him alive because I think it gives protection. It gets like protection from a color as long as you do the Hokey Pokey. So I'd be like, all right, I'm paying 2 mana. That's what it's all about. Keep my guy alive.
That's great. Oh, he's got the fingers up.
Yeah.
In the art. Oh, that's great.
I'll put the right one in.
I'll put the right one in.
Yeah. So okay, let's talk about holiday music. What Remy? What's your favorite holiday song?
Well, I like the old. I like Bing Crosby. I like the. I don't know what a crooner is, but if it's somebody like Bing Crosby, I like Bing Crosby. I like.
You're a White Christmas kind of guy.
Yes, I love actually that movie. I love that movie. That's
my wife was a giant fan. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got I can't remember, somewhere online or one of the streaming services they had a remastered version of it, and it's a great movie and it's funny. Like you'll laugh out loud at something. It's like 70 years old. White Christmas is like 70 years old, and it's a different
pre-beta,
pre-beta, pre-alpha, pre-beta, pre-Mary Poppins. But it's so funny. It's like a different world. Like I was rewatching it. It's a musical. And they got great dance numbers. I'm saying such great things about White Christmas. It was called "What Do You Do with a General?" I don't know if you remember this. It's like, "What do you do with a general when he stops being a general?" It's about like all these World War II generals. They would come home, and then nobody would hire them. They had no jobs. And I was like, "What? You just go be on the board of Lockheed or something now? You're just like, you're fine. You're a general." It was like, wow, it was like a different world back there. Like it was like,
yeah. I mean, I guess the answer then was you become like a lounge singer.
Yeah.
Isn't that like how it goes? It's like, God, that guy's a general. Now he's a lounge. Like wasn't the like plot of the movie like the one guy saved a higher ranking officer's life. And then basically like guilt trips him into becoming a road show with him. Like that's the whole idea. And then they see these two women at like one of their clubs, and they're on the run from the law, but they do like this weird like cabaret thing that's a little sexy.
This is all true.
Then they find out that the cops are coming, and they skip town. But to distract the cops, those dudes dress up in drag, which is I guess problematic now. And do the whole number. They're like, my sister, Mister, like that's what I can
it was
remember
great
from this. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, it was so good. Yeah, they bought them some time.
yeah.
But it's true. Like everybody, so the Bing Crosby's character is like is a singer, and then the guy guilts him into being like his partner. So they have like a traveling show, and then they meet these other people.
Andy K, right? Andy K.
That the actor, yes, right? And
Yeah. Because he's the civilization from like we're going back to Fallout now, but he does the civilization is the thing for me to see. Bongo bongo bongo. I don't want to leave the jungle. No 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 no. If you're a Fallout fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's Danny K. Danny K. I was thinking Andrew W.K. That's a different guy.
Danny K.
Danny K. Yeah.
He is great. He is really funny. Yes. Danny K. Yes.
Danny K. And the Andrews sisters. Those were the women in the thing, I believe, actually.
And they did.
Yeah.
They were so great. And then the I can't remember the dancer's name, the actress who's the dancer, Vera something, but she is such a good dancer. But it's true. Like everybody just up and becomes like a famous like traveling singing duo. Like, oh, let's put together a routine. We'll go up and down the coast. And it was like back then, like singing duo was like truck driver. It was like the most common profession in the United States.
What do you do for a living? Oh, I'm like, it's hard work.
Oh yeah,
you're
like
everybody
else
every day.
So, maybe I'm talking myself up. Maybe that's my favorite Christmas movie. But there's so many good ones. I mean, Elf is a classic.
Remy,
Elf is like an instant classic. Yes.
I'm not trying to. I mean, yes, I am. I'm trying to sway you into what your next parody might in consideration. Your holiday parody, because when you were like saying White Christmas and your favorite crooner, my favorite all-time crooner is Ella Domry, and I feel like I feel like Ella Domry's version of White Christmas would be really, really fantastic on the channel.
A joke that only three of us would get. Your entire fan base would be like, "What is happening right now?"
Soon to be available for the masses. Oh man!
Can you imagine just MTG Remy as Ella Domry as Bing Crosby? It's a bit of a reach.
You need to get some actual lounge singer to just cosplay as like something. Plus, they've got the leaves. They've got the piano.
Yeah.
Provide them the lyrics.
Yeah. And it can be like the whole journey is like you're Ella Domry and you're all about forests, but it's the middle of the winter and there are no leaves anywhere. And you're sad, and it's a story of comeuppance. There's a journey. There's a journey to be had.
Baby, it's cold outside.
It's so cold.
Yeah.
Phil, what's your favorite holiday song, man?
My favorite holiday song is okay. I'm debating between a couple things, but I'm gonna say my favorite holiday song is "Rollin' Rollin' by Limp Bizkit."
Yeah, that's kind of a Jingle Bells vibe.
It's really my favorite one. Santa Claus is coming to town and he's just
there's a connection to
through.
Christmas there because they also did that George Michael song, and George Michael's was in Wham! Last Christmas. I'm Kevin Baconing this thing. It's going to work.
So, and I'm really happy that you saw the thread there, because the other song that I was considering, other than Limp Bizkit, was "Wake Me Up" in parentheses "Before You Go Go" by Wham.
Yeah, there you go.
That is also a classic holiday song that I really enjoy every year.
I like that one. That one actually gets better year by year, I think.
Yeah.
The Wham one.
So I discovered that song because I was in 11th grade, and we had heard the song before. It's not like it was an unknown thing. But me and my close friend did not know what the song was. We had just heard it in like Zoolander and, a bunch of other, very popular holiday movies. And I remember I had an English teacher who was on the level, and during like the study hours of a class, we asked him, we were like, "Hey, this might be out of left field, but do you know the song where we go, 'Wake me up before you go, go, ba, ba, ba'?" And he was like, "Gentlemen, I want you to take a seat." And we did. And then
Wait,
he came with us.
Did George Michaels teach you English?
He came with us to. So as we sat down, he sat down on like on my friend's desk,
As cool teachers
as though
do.
he was about to give us like a pep talk, like a powwow. And he was like, "Gentlemen, that song is called Wake Me Up, in parentheses, Before You Go Go, by Wham." And then he went back to the front of the room. Like, it was the strangest interaction I ever had with a teacher, and I will never forget it. And it's the only thing that I ever.
Oh my gosh!
Because it was the whole thing. Like he said it. Like we thought he was like going to scold us for like being disruptive because like we weren't focused on the work. It was a total non sequitur that we asked him this question. But he came back. He took it way too seriously, more serious than we were taking it. And I will never forget that moment.
The greatest teachers are the ones that leave an impression, right?
Yeah.
And you can understand why it's my second favorite holiday song behind Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. I think for me it's Christmas Christmas by Mojo Nixon, off of the Punk Christmas like soundtrack thing, whatever compilation.
Bless you.
So thank you. So it's just Louie Louie, but instead of doing Louie Louie, he says Christmas Christmas. So he's like Christmas Christmas. Oh yeah, I gotta go to shopping malls. and then it devolves into this weird thing where it's like Mojo Nixon and your mom are in a women's prison, and he's like attracted to your mom, and then he just like goes back into Christmas, Christmas, and you're like, what just happened? Like, what is going on?
Gentlemen, I would like to just acknowledge that I feel like we've gone entirely off the rails.
Way off the rails.
With that said, Remy, I'm not trying to necessarily steer you towards what your next parody is going to be.
Yeah.
But have you considered getting in your best Lou Bega garb and doing Magic number 5?
Oh my!
And then it's just your favorite cards.
Oh my gosh! That is so. We did not plan this.
This is not planned. I'm just throwing ideas out. We're idea guys.
Is this the collab? Are we doing this for the collab?
The next video is a parody of Mambo number 5.
Oh,
I am not joking.
You've already got it ready.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait! You already have it done.
It's not filmed.
But you have it like written out.
Yes.
It's Fruitcake Elemental in there.
No, I wish.
Okay.
If I could go back, if I could turn back time.
If you could turn back time.
It's a silly one.
Awesome.
It's
well,
a silly
one.
one.
If you're watching this after that comes out, there'll be a link somewhere.
Yeah.
We are what an exclusive.
I don't like to reveal the things before time, but that question was so uncanny.
I mean, it's truly the holiday season, and who amongst us doesn't love our favorite Christmas song, Mambo number 5?
And look, if you were waiting for somebody to deliver a miracle, wouldn't it be Phil Blackman?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think with that said, we could do this for another 3 hours, but I think this is a good place to cut it. Remy,
what a cliffhanger! Magic number 5 coming to town.
Yeah, amazing. Remy, it's a pleasure to have you. I always say this; it never happens. We got to do this more often, at least twice a year, maybe for the 4th of July or something like that. But it's always great to get in touch and just hang out with you for a little bit before Christmas.
Oh, I look forward to it. It's always a blast, and I love the show. And hopefully we'll catch up here in person.
Yes.
In this winter.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, we're going to stumble into what Zach's commander is going to be in the Grand Calcutron versus Fruitcake Elemental EDH
We need
game.
to film this.
Whatever
happens.
This
needs to be filmed.
I'll set it up.
Capture it on film. If film can capture it, truly.
It might be too big. It might be too big of a...
I'm worried.
It's like, that's what they thought about Lord of the Rings, but they did it.
It's going to be, it's going to be, Command Zone Live will open for us, and then we'll get up there, and we'll play. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out your.
This might be like to Zach's point. This might be a Lord of the Rings thing, though. We might need to rope off some portion of like New Zealand to fully contain what is happening. The blast zone. The blast zone.
Oh man. All right. Well, again, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you, man. And hey, happy holidays to everybody out there. And yeah, enjoy yourselves, be safe, and that's it. Have a good one.
For the gift that keeps on giving all year round, join our Patreon at patreon.com/eternaldurdles. And hey, check out this playlist we got up here with all of our interviews over the last couple of years. Some great people from the Legacy community, some really great guests.